Okay, so we'll get started. So what is cloud? So cloud basically, if you give it a, I mean, if in a layman term, if you give it a thought, you'll say that yeah, that's sky, or maybe the clouds that we see in the sky. But yeah, that's not what it is. So what if I told you it's just someone else's computer that you're using? So the idea of cloud, again, I mean, it was the same principle that was being used. So cloud is just like sharing of resources. So when I say sharing, so we'll take a very naive example of say electricity. So when you are using electricity, you are getting billed for it, and electricity is shared from a substation to your homes, right? And then based on your usage, you pay for it. Cloud is as simple as that. So in this case, the electricity is replaced by compute or storage or any other service that you use over the internet. And the payment, again, it depends on how much you use it. So if you use a certain database or a compute service for a certain while, you will be billed accordingly. So that is how cloud work, and that is a very simple or a layman definition of what cloud is. So now so we understood what cloud is. Now we'll talk about the cloud service providers. So now when the notion came up, so Salesforce was the one who came up first with a service that was offering a service over the cloud. So they were the pioneers, and then Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Alibaba, and all joined in, and they currently form the major public cloud service provider pool. So these are the major public cloud service providers. There are many more, and today what we are going to talk about is, so if you notice here, so we have a very good lock here on all the connections between the internet through which you are accessing the cloud. I mean, there are some arrows that I have drawn, and if you see here, there is a lock that I have drawn. So the lock here is indicating security. So the security, when we talk about cloud security, it is within the cloud, it is while you are accessing cloud over the internet. So that is what we'll basically be covering. So this was a very brief. I hope this interests all the audience around, and we'll now actually get started with the cloud security and cloud services. So before moving to security, we'll actually talk about what are the types of cloud computing services that are available in the market. So the most famous service is like IaaS is there, infrastructure as a cloud. Then there is platform as a service. Then there are software as a service, and then a new term that has recently came up, that is function as a service. So infrastructure as a service, constitutes of the major cloud offerings. So basically all your compute services, your database services that you're using over the internet, they all fall under infrastructure as a service. Platform as a service are all your online code editors and all those stuff. Software as a service is again a very widely used domain. So all the applications that you're using over the internet, like Facebook, your Netflix, and all your shopping apps, they are just a service that they are just softwares which are using as a service over the internet. So they are all software as a service. And today we'll mainly focus on infrastructure as a service, because AWS, Microsoft Azure, and GCP, their major offerings are into infrastructure services. So we'll talk about fast services as well while covering the security aspects, but the core the core competency, or maybe the core topic of discussion today, will be around infrastructure as a service, right? So this was all about cloud. Now, why cloud security, you may ask? Why did I choose to talk about cloud security? So now the biggest security challenge when it comes to the cloud adoption is perception of reduced security. So we'll take a very simple example of a banking service. So you say there is a bank who have all their applications, all their customer data hosted in their local local servers and everything. They know where their data is, so they can physically see the devices therein. So when you ask the bank the bank authorities that they can migrate to cloud, they can save cost and all the things, the first questions they will ask is where is my data stored, and is it really secure, because they can't see the servers and the the racks and everything there physically, because they are now remote and they are accessing it over the internet, right? So this is a very big challenge when it comes to cloud adoption. So that is one thing that I personally try to be in favor of cloud adoption. And due to this reduced perception of cloud security, I just want to spread awareness that implementing cloud security is not as hard as it seems. It is tough, yes, but by following some standard practices and guardrails, you can certainly achieve a decent amount of cloud security, right? And then if you see the public cloud challenges as well, so the number one, as I said, is security. And then the biggest identified cloud threats occur mostly due to misconfiguration of cloud platforms, right? So as I said, when you are trying and using cloud, it's up to you how you use it, right? So the cloud providers are there to provide you services, but then how you configure the service, which service you are keeping private, which you are keeping public, it's all in your hands. We are the ones, I mean, the cloud users are the one who actually configure the services, right? But if you see here, the biggest cloud security threat as per a standard data set, so it's due to misconfiguration of the cloud platform. So it's like the basic settings the cloud user is missing, due to which there are some loopholes that the intruders